One Piece. Keizoku Muso 4. La. But in all serious, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. I have kept my expectations basic level because I have no idea what to expect from today's chapter. The first chapter of March for One Piece. But let's go ahead and begin. Kohagen, Ogata. It's good to... Kohagen and CD. Sorry, not Ogata, because Ogata ain't here yet. But Kohagen and CDs. It's good to see the both of you. Let's begin! Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another One Piece chapter reaction and review. So many things happened in the last chapter, such as Luffy going to his Gum Gum giant size and holding back a fully Zoan, Jay Garcia, and also manhandling Kizaru easily, keeping them from going after Sanji, who's currently carrying a steadily bleeding out Vegapunk. And Vegapunk's last words is, well, he doesn't actually say anything, he's just smiling. This is Sanji's reaction. And then we have a feed that pops up where Vegapunk has recorded a message saying, like, what I'm about to tell you is really the truth of this world. And let's just see what happens in today's chapter. In chapter 1109, Interception. And it shows limited cover series number 26. Onigashima sinks. It shows the entire island of Onigashima. The entire island of Onigashima is now underwater, and it's right behind the old Wano country. It's right behind the old Wano country underwater. Like that same space where Sukiyaki took both Robin and Law, Onigashima now rests at the bottom of that area right behind Old Wano. First of all, how did it get out there? Because Onigashima was way out there on the land. Did Momonosuke do that? It had to have been Momonosuke who used his flame clouds to get Onigashima underwater. The entirety of Onigashima is underwater right now. The entirety of it. Wow. We never do think about what happens when we leave a country in One Piece. And now the entirety of Onigashima, the whole island is just underwater right behind Old Wano. Interesting. And it's a limited cover series? Are we going to see what's going on with Wano right now in these cover pages as we progress through the story? That's not important now. Let's see what happens next. Ooh, we're getting words spoken. And its voice is going, come now, Stella. You can't just start this up out of nowhere.
What do you mean, Shaka?
Oh, so Shaka was talking to Vegapunk when he made this message. Surely the audience will need to be adequately prepared to hear it.
You really think that's necessary? Some intelligence agency will pick it up, and it'll spread across the world by the next day.
Are you certain of that? Are you certain about that? What if they manipulate the information? What is that? Where's it from?
It's coming across every ship's snails.
All this information is being broadcast everywhere. Oda, if you really do it, if Ola really does it, if he do it, I'm gonna leave my room screaming. Let's just see.
A good point. So what do we do?
I'll relay the signal through every naval base in the world.
Turn that off!
But I can't! And force them to output at maximum strength. They can't turn it off! They can't shut it off! They're trying to turn off the snails, but Vegapunk is making it so that the snails keep broadcasting against the Navy's orders. And this is broadcasting through every Navy base? Oda. The transponder snails can receive audio signals, but the visual transponder snails will take time in order to be set up for viewing. And Luffy is holding back Jay Garcia is holding back Jay Garcia, and he's Luffy's holding back Jay Garcia and holding on to Kizaru as Shaka says, I suggest giving them an interval of 1 hour. And then Jay Garcia is immediately thinking, what are you going to tell the world, Vegapunk? And it actually shows a bead of sweat on his face. Mind you, Jay Garcia is still in his full Zoan Gyuki state right now. And then even the Straw Hats are hearing it.
Huh? That's Vegapunk, right?
Usopp, Chopper, Nami, and Edison.
That's Vegapunk, right? 1 hour? That seems long. So long, in fact. Where's it coming from? Why now? That it will give those who might not want this message heard the time.
Let's see who. Let me see here.
1 hour? That seems long. So long, in fact, that it will give those who might not want this message heard the time to interfere with it.
And it shows the Navy still contending with the Giants, who are gleefully going after them. I love the Giant Pirate crew.
Very well. Let us set the preparation period for the message to 10 minutes.
And then it cuts to Sanji going, hey, isn't that your voice, Vegapunk? Hey, wake up. And Vegapunk's not moving. But then we get the message continuing.
You hear that word?
And then Jay Garcia starts getting nervous. He's getting nervous. He's like, ugh. He's getting real nervous. And then we cut to Marijois. Oda, are you about to do it? Is he about to do it? I know I said I'm tempering my expectations right now, but if Oda does it in this chapter on the first Sunday of March, Sacred Marijois.
What is that signal?
Saturn. What happened with Vegapunk?
Someone explain this now!
Kizaru killed him. He should be dead now.
How are they communicating with Jay Garcia? Because the speech bubble is as if it's a thought bubble. Can they telepathically talk to each other? The way the speech bubble for Saturn, or the way it's different. It's different because we see regular speech bubbles, and then we see these other bubbles that have lines coming out of it, which signify thoughts. Can the Gorosei telepathically speak with each other?
Saturn, what happened with Vegapunk?
Kizaru killed him. He should be dead now.
Ah,
I think I saw it.
So, he set up this message to play in the event of his own death.
Most likely.
And who knows what he might say?
If we can find the source of the transmission.
I can't imagine it's coming from anywhere but the Labo phase on Egghead, and it's protected by that barrier.
And then Shaka continues to speak with Vegapunk.
So, 9.5 minutes to kill what now?
Want to invent something?
I'm rather busy.
Why not have some coffee?
And it shows Pythagoras in the background as well. Dressrosa? We haven't seen Dressrosa in a hot minute.
Dressrosa, New World. Did you hear that? This is wild. The legendary Dr. Vegapunk is sending a message to the entire world.
Bring out the visual transponder, Snail. Set up the big screen. Hurry, we've only got 10 minutes. Yo! It's Rebecca and Leo. And Captain Tank. Oh, Gyros! And then we have Leo.
Is that the Professor Luffy Land took hostage? What's going on over there? Oh, Leo, did you really believe that horrible article about Lucy?
Calculating the likelihood of signal jamming. And, Pythagoras is the one getting all the data together so this message can get out. We are cutting to different parts of the world.
The picture's up. Is that Vegapunk?
Windmill Village, East Blue. We are going back to Luffy's hometown. Why are we cutting? Why are we cutting to all of these locations?
What's this? I thought the news was about Luffy getting into trouble again.
A visual transponder, Snail. I told you our village needed one, Mayor.
Mayor, whoop, slap!
And who's going to pay for it? Their food isn't free, you know. You'll get by on sound alone and you'll like it.
Aww. Water 7! Grand Line! Wake up, people! Huge news! Iceberg Secretary Alice and Iceberg. Oh my. Set up the video at once, Alice.
Yes, sir. I'll have it shown in the room next door.
Because remember, Alice is like a young girl, but she's pretty much Iceberg's secretary after everyone else was refused.
I've also set up screens in each shipbuilding dock. Although it's the middle of the night, given the apparent importance of this event, I've already delegated contact of all residents so that they can be ready to view the video within 10 minutes. Anything else?
Quite the proficient secretary for one so young, even more so than Khalifa when she was posing as one. World Economic Journal HQ with Morgans! Big News Morgans!
Hello, people. How do you do? It's Big News Morgans here with really big news. Quite possibly the biggest news in the history of the One Piece series, but can't wait to see how things go from there. Hey, what's this signal about? It's an independent source being relayed by the Navy.
And then we have Vivi.
Does it say where Luffy's crew is going?
Look at the clock behind them, fool. That's not the current time on Egghead. This is a recording that was made in the past. There's currently a buster call happening over there, so the place is burning to the ground as we speak, I'm sure.
So we got Wapple here. We got Wapple, we got Vivi, Morgans, and Morgans knows what's up. West Blue.
So, that's the real Dr. Vegapunk. Look at his head. His mind's so sharp it cut itself.
North Blue.
The man who brought light to the world.
South Blue.
What's so important for him to say to the entire world? Is it the invention of the century?
Kamabaka Queendom. Hee-haw! The coffee will take 10 minutes to brew.
Then I won't have time to drink it.
I calculate the chances of jamming are exceedingly low, and all the revolutionaries are watching this. And then we have Ivankov. What does Vegapunk think he's doing now? And why is his noggin so slim? Ivankov hasn't seen Vegapunk ever since he sliced his head and created the satellites. So this is the first time Ivankov is seeing Vegapunk in this state. Then we have Koala, Morley, Bello Betty, Sabo, Lindbergh, Karasu. I see all the commanders of the East, North, East, South, and West.
Is that the Dr. Vegapunk we're all talking about?
And he's streaming a message in the middle of this whole ordeal? And then Sabo looks on silently. And then Dragon thinks back to when Shaka said, I suspect that my death is imminent. And Dragon is silent. Then we cut back to Egghead, and Luffy is still contending with Jay Garcia. So all those punches meant nothing to you, huh? And then Jay Garcia glares at Luffy, and then Kizaru's eyes glow. Okay, so we now have confirmation that Kizaru can shoot lasers out of his eyes. You know, it's such a basic thing. It's such a basic thing that I didn't even think he could do it. It never crossed my mind. But Jay Garcia lights up. Jay Garcia's eyes focus on Luffy, and Kizaru's eyes light up, and Luffy gets hit in the face by this unseen force. And he gets hit in the face by Kizaru shooting lasers literally out of his eyes. Whoa! Oh, wait, actually, no. No, he doesn't get hit. He dodges out of the way. Luffy actually dodges out of the way of Kizaru shooting lasers at him. But Luffy does not lose his grip. From now until the moment all my friends get away, I'm keeping you guys right here. Gum Gum! Dawn! Symbol! And he takes both Jay Garcia and he takes both Kizaru and slams them together in both of his hands. And here's the thing. Luffy enlarges his hands to basically engulf Jay Garcia and Kizaru and slams them both together. The shockwave from him using Gum Gum Dawn's symbol is so large, it takes up the skyline of Egghead. The explosion is massive. Mind you, Luffy is in his Gum Gum Giant state. The explosion and shockwave from this it's huge. And then when he takes his hands off, since Kizaru and Jay Garcia are being affected by Luffy's awakening, they are basically pancaked, like little pieces of paper, like Jim Carrey when he fell out of the building in The Mask. And he just all like, look, Ma, I'm roadkill. Ha ha ha. They're literally flattened, and they're just flowing in the wind. They're flowing in the wind, and then they're flowing in the wind, and as they're falling, swishing through the air like paper, they have like stars circling around their heads. And then Luffy pokes them and starts twirling them like they're pizza. Oh! He starts twirling them like they're pizza. He's just twirling them. Sorry, I had to finish that whole song. You can't start that song and not say the whole thing. But Luffy is twirling them on his finger like they're pizza, keeping them from going anywhere, especially in this state. If you just bounce back from anything I do, let me see you bounce back from this! And it shows Luffy throwing both Jay Garcia and Kizaru at high speeds. And he throws them at high speeds, and then we get someone on the Navy side going, he just threw something, huh? And Luffy has just thrown both Kizaru and Jay Garcia directly into a Navy ship with enough force to cause it to explode. And Luffy just starts laughing because he's laughing. And then immediately, Jay Garcia comes back. He starts flying right back towards Luffy, spinning his body like he's spinning his body as if it's like a big old propeller with his legs going straight towards Luffy. What? And Luffy's eyes come out of his head because Jay Garcia just gets right back up and he just starts twirling towards Luffy as if he's using Gum Gum UFO. Remember that? His legs are spinning around him, causing him to sail towards Luffy like a giant chakram. What? How come nothing I do damages him? And Luffy is getting kind of frustrated because nothing is sticking. I mean, that's not surprising, given that Jay Garcia can regenerate at high speeds. But we cut back to the other ship that was bombarded, and Kizaru is there. Admiral Kizaru? What happened? Are you alright? And then Kizaru is just laying there, and he's huffing and puffing, but he's not moving, and he's got his hands over his eye. And then we get the Gorosei, like right here, talking to Luffy. I mean, talking to Saturn. The Gorosei are talking to him telepathically. There's no time. Saturn, Vegapunk must not be given license to speak. And then it shows Jay Garcia trying to jab at Luffy with all of his legs, and Luffy is just running on air. You know, the same thing he did towards Kaido, where he got launched and then he started running on air and he started burning the air. He's dodging Jay Garcia while running on the air itself. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Oh, close one. And then it cuts to the Giants going, there it is. That's our ship. I hope. And then it cuts to, I think this is Frankie going, I hope Vegapunk and them are all right. And then Jay Garcia goes, I'll make the summons. And then the Gorosei go, good. And then there's an explosion. Sorry, there's a police car driving by. Then a whole pillar of black lightning just shoots up into the air. And everyone is looking as this big, long stalk of black lightning shoots up out of the ground. Huh? What's that?
Black lightning?
And Luffy's even flabbergasted. What's that? And then as Sanji's running away with Vegapunk, he notices the lightning and goes,
That's the same thing as when the Spider Gramps showed up.
1, 2, 3, 4. And then it just shows this gigantic panel, this gigantic section of a panel where Jay Garcia is on the ground and these 4 other portals, the same kind that he came in with, 4 more show up. Is he summoning the rest of the Gorosei there? Is Jay Garcia summoning the rest of the Gorosei because Vegapunk is about to speak? It's so dire that the rest of the Gorosei are about to show up? I felt it was too good to be true that Oda was going to reveal what Vegapunk was going to say in the next immediate chapter after the last one. But what this is setting up, hold on, is he summoning the rest of the Gorosei? And all of these portals are as big as full Zoan Jay Garcia. They're not small. The portals are not small like when he first appeared. They are massive. And they're all appearing right around him. And to be continued. Oh my goodness. Yo. Hold up. Is he summoning the Gorosei there to him? Because the situation is that serious. The fact that we're cutting to... Let me just talk here. Okay, this message is going, and Jay Garcia is getting nervous. Gentleson! Yo! Oi! Oi to you as well. If this is your first time here on this channel, I really hope that you enjoyed my reaction. But man, let me see what you guys have said. Ozzy, it's good to see you. Who else? DJ, good to see you. Well, gotta go. Enjoy, y'all. All right, CDs. He might be gone already. Let me see. Hey, Gorosei, in the words of Nelson Muntz, come on, Goda, don't give us. I believe they're using telepathy. Yeah. Oh, family's calling. They might be calling me about food. Let me talk to them real quick, and then let me continue. Families getting me salmon with black peppered Creole sauce with a side of corn and potatoes. Okay, let me go back to what you guys are saying. I believe they are using telepathy. Okay, so now we have now it's not like... Okay, so I originally thought that when all was said and done with Egghead and maybe Jay Garcia got away, he was going to relay the information to the Gorosei. But now this chapter pretty much confirms that the Gorosei can communicate to each other telepathically. So that's another thing they got going on. whoop slap. Roger Space didn't like this chapter. He was so mad because of the time limit, but I feel like this time limit has to be different. This time limit is actually for the enemies, not to our main characters or heroes. Look, I have no problem with the time limit, because with Luffy the way he is right now, it's really a countdown to the worst possible moment for the Gorosei. They got 10 minutes. They got 10 minutes to try and stop this before the whole world finds out. Why? Here's the thing. Here's the magnificent thing about this. This is a situation so dire that at the end of this chapter, it looks like the rest of the Gorosei are being summoned in. That's how dire it is. It goes beyond just Jay Garcia being there with a whole bunch of Navy and even an Admiral. This surpasses all of that. It's so serious that you got Jay Garcia, potentially. We still don't know if it's confirmed or not, but it kind of seems likely with the 4 other portals popping up. It does. I stand by the statement. It really does feel like he's summoning the rest of the Gorosei so that they can actually put an end to this. Because the situation is that serious. 5, not just Jay Garcia, but potentially the rest of the Gorosei making their way down from Marijois to accompany Jay Garcia and put an end to this whole situation before it spreads? Not to mention the fact that Vegapunk is broadcasting to everyone. Morgans, West Blue, South Blue, Water 7, Dressrosa, Windmill Village, Kamabaka Queendom, everywhere, every location is being broadcast this information. And now we have a countdown to when this information is about to drop. And Jay Garcia is sweating bullets, is letting them know, like, we got a situation here. He's like, it's a serious thing. Let me see here. Roger Space just doesn't have the patience to let a story breathe. Not everything has to be rushed. Contrary to what we initially thought with Egghead, this is not a short arc. Think about it. It may not be as long as like Wano, but this isn't, and it may be shorter, but it is not a short arc. There's been so much happening. So I'm okay with the timer. 10 minutes for the world to discover the truth of the world itself. 10 minutes for the Gorosei to figure something out before their biggest secret. One of them anyway, other than Im-sama. But if Im-sama's part of that truth of the world, then it might be their biggest secret regardless. I still got to scroll down to all your comments. But if the Gorosei cannot stop this in 10 minutes, their biggest secret could be revealed. Roger Space said that that time limits has been used in a lot of different tropes, but this has to be different. Oda's gonna cook. See, my thing is, the thing is, I understand the time limit of when something is gonna be revealed is seen as a trope, but the fact of the matter is, we don't see it so often for it to become egregious. You know? We don't have, this isn't like when Dragon Ball, when Goku was fighting Frieza and they only had a set number of minutes and that lasted like how many months, both anime and chapter-wise? How long did that whole interaction last? I don't think it's like that situation where we've seen time limits put on incredibly crucial moments to the point where they've become overdone. So the fact that, when was the last time we had a timer on something? The last time we had a timer on something incredibly crucial was when Onigashima was getting closer and closer to Wano. That's how long it's been. You want to know how long ago that was? I want to say last year, maybe even the year before last. I want to say the year before last was when we had the timer. Of course, I could be wrong. I guess someone will correct me. If it isn't Ogata, then it'll probably be someone else who corrects me on how long we were counting down. But the timer's not an issue. I know I gotta disagree with Roger here, but the timer itself is not an issue. We gotta let these things breathe. A timer means that this is an incredibly crucial moment. Every moment that passes within the One Piece world as this timer goes on just shows you just how tense things are getting. Because when we go from 10 minutes to 9 minutes to 8 minutes to 7 to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the tension is, like DJ is saying here, the tension is definitely going to build up. The story needs more tension, but I don't think Oda's not going to stall us with these 10 minutes, like 4 to 5 chapters. No, I highly doubt I highly doubt this entire month is just going to be a chapter and only 2 minutes pass. We got 5 Sundays within this month. Yeah, counting today, we have 5 Sundays. I highly doubt Oda's just going to let 2 minutes pass per Sunday. And since we are apparently going on break after this chapter, I highly doubt Oda's just going to tease us for that long, but we'll have to see. This reveal by Vegapunk's message is going to be worth it with these 10 minutes timer. Now they're like Wile E. Coyote. Pizza thing with Luffy is more disrespectful than Kaido getting jump rope. Yeah, Luffy is literally pizza tossing an admiral and a member of the most prominent authority in the entire world as if they're toys. Very disrespectful. Not that they deserve any respect. No, they don't. You are not worthy of my respect. You are not a god. You are just bad Gorosei. But God, that's such a hard line from Edgar. Oda has given us a roadmap of Endgame through Dofi. Remember his Throne War speech? Within that speech, he specifically stated, tell the Celestial Dragons in Marijois that they'll be dragged down from their lofty perch. Egghead is fulfilling those words in real time. He kind of is. It really is, because if Jay Garcia is summoning in, Ravi, good to see you. I saw you on my playback, but I'm just now getting down to the rest. I'm getting down to the rest of the comments as well. But yeah, this Doflamingo's prophecy is kind of self-fulfilling right now, because if Jay Garcia is summoning the rest of the Gorosei, they are now brought down from their lofty perch. And they count as Celestial Dragons because they're the highest among them. Perhaps he's getting ready to summon the other Gorosei to the playing field. If that's the case, business is really about to pick up. It really is. Because if the rest of the Gorosei show up, we'll be able... I honestly think they're going to show up in their fully awakened Zoan states, and we'll be able to see how they all look. Jay Garcia is a Gyuki, an Ushi Oni, basically an ox yokai. What are the others? This is the mother of all great-great-great-grandmother of all cliffhangers. It really is. And if we're going on break, as Jay Garcia appears to be summoning in the rest of the Gorosei to Egghead, because it's that serious of a situation. I don't think there's going to be any moment that tops this for a while. Let me see. Come on, Dragon. Bring your behind to Egghead. It's getting dire. Oda trolled us again. This 10 minutes, I really hope it'll not take 3 to 4 chapters, because it's just going to drag on. I really hope that it doesn't drag on as long as Raizo and Fukurokuju's fight did, because that fight dragged on for way too long. It was like every 3 chapters we cut back to Raizo. And then every 4 chapters we cut back to Raizo and Fukurokuju. And I'm like, this is taking forever for this to be resolved. And it was just them standing in a hallway! I'm sorry. But I don't think it's going to be that way. Let me see. 10 minutes I could spare. 10 minutes? 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all I can spare to play with you. Yeah, I remember Dragon Ball Chapter 735, Goku stares at Frieza, enjoying One Piece. Yeah, it's good. Chapter 900, Goku still stares at Frieza. Yeah. It was at the end of 2022 when we had a time limit with Onigashima. So yeah, it actually has been like a year and a half. I want to say a year and a half since we got a time limit of some sort in One Piece. So for Roger to say, like, to bring up the time limit being a trope, it hasn't happened enough in different series for it to really be something to bring up. I'm just saying. Chapter 1100, Goku stares at Frieza some more. I know this is a wild take and not going to happen, but some people think, what if Vegapunk knows that the Gorosei will come? He might be luring them just to broadcast their transformation. Okay, so DJ, let me say this. This is the reason why I like theories like this. Because it is based on fact. Based on fact that we know. Based on fact that we know of the series as a whole. It isn't anything outlandish as some things that were brought up during my reflections. Those of you who were here know what I'm talking about. But this is the type of theory I can get behind because it's based off of stuff that we are already confirmed to know. Not off the wall theories like Bonnie knew Ace. Where did that information come from? Oda hasn't shown it yet. That explains nothing. So this type of theory I can get behind, and I'm grateful for it because they actually make sense, and I'll acknowledge them because they make sense. But you may say it's a wild take, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, knowing Vegapunk like I do. And since a lot of stuff is being broadcast to everyone who has like video transponder snails, I wouldn't be surprised if he does that as well. Now, it's a wild take. It's a wild take, but at least this one has some weight behind it, some gravity behind it. So I could acknowledge this. But to think that the Gorosei may be showing up, the rest of them, and they may be showing up in their fully demon Zoan states, because Jay Garcia is a demon. He is a Japanese demon, a literal yokai. So I wonder what the rest of the Gorosei are going to look like. Its final saga, Oda admitted that he really wants to draw a very amazing final saga. He wants to reveal every lore, every mystery. DJ, I would love for that theory to come true. Knock those world nobles off their pedestals. For the world to see the Gorosei and the celestial dragons for the demons that they really are. Not the gods that they perpetuate themselves to be, but the literal demons that they are. So, let me go into the chapter notes because I know that they have some chapter notes. Also, I'm looking forward to the day when we get chapter 1111. 1111. We are literally going to get that sort of chapter this month. Chapter 1111. Should be interesting. So let me bring this up. And mind you, I'm still harping on One Piece right now. I'm still harping on One Piece, and I still got Jujutsu where Maki is supposed to be going up against Sukuna. So that ought to be interesting. So real quick. Chapter 1109, long summary. Let me go through the long summary. So you guys, for those of you who may have been showing up late, I can give you a synopsis of basically what happened. In the video, Shaka asks Dr. Vegapunk if sending out this message to the world is a good idea. His reason being that the people of the world may not be ready to receive and relay it. Dr. Vegapunk, however, tells him that as soon as information agencies get news, they'll spread it across the world by the next day. Shaka asks what he will do if someone tries to censor the message, and Dr. Vegapunk acknowledges he hadn't thought of that, so he asks Shaka for ideas. The idea he comes up with is piggybacking off of the Marines' comms traffic. That way, they can force a constant worldwide broadcast with the strongest signal. And sure enough, that is exactly what starts happening, as the Marines in the present try desperately to cut the connection, but fail. Dr. Vegapunk then says that everyone that has a Den Mushi will be able to listen, but it may take a while for them to be prepared, and the time intervals will differ from place to place, time zones and everything. At first, Dr. Vegapunk suggests they give everyone an hour, but Shaka warns that that may give people who aren't happy with the news being released time to cut the message. Dr. Vegapunk once again acknowledges this and changes the time to 10 minutes. See, Shaka out here being a smart one. Somebody might cut the transmission if you take too long.
That's true. Let's shorten it all the way down from 60 minutes to 10. A 50 cutoff point.
In Marijois, the other elders communicate with Saturn telepathically, and they ask if he has dealt with Dr. Vegapunk. Saturn reports that he saw Kizaru deliver what he believes is a fatal blow, but he thinks he should be dead. Warcury surmises the message currently being broadcasted is a dead man's switch, set to go off in the event the main body dies, which is what I said during my reflections. Jupiter says they have no idea what he will say, but if they pinpoint the source of the broadcast, they can stop it. Only the source is in the Labo phase, protected by the Frontier Dome. Now, many places around the world react to Dr. Vegapunk's message, while he and his satellites decide to get some coffee. Hope they got some donuts, too. You can't have coffee without donuts. Places including Dressrosa, Fuchsia Village, Water 7, and the World Economic Newspaper, with all of the Straw Hats' allies listening in. Note that all the places that we've been to all over have people who are allies to the Straw Hat crew. Even the Revolutionary Army is watching, with Dragon thinking back to when Shaka told him he will die soon. As for Luffy, he acknowledges that his punches didn't affect Saturn, so he stretches his arms back and slams both him and Kizaru together, a move he calls Gum Gum Dawn Symbol. As a result, both are completely flattened, and Luffy starts twirling the two around like pizza dough and sends them flying towards the ocean. And while Kizaru crashes into a ship, Saturn turns around and moves full speed at Luffy with his legs. Okay, so Jay Garcia actually didn't hit anything. He redirected himself and flew right back to Luffy. It was Kizaru who landed on the marine ship and it exploded with him on it. And he's just left laying on the ground. While Kizaru crashes into a ship, Saturn turns around and moves full speed at Luffy with his legs, much to the latter's frustration. Luffy dodges Saturn's attack as the Marines check in on the extremely weakened Kizaru, while the other elders tell Saturn that they can't allow Dr. Vegapunk to speak freely. As such, Saturn performs the magic circle summoning he used to reach the island, bringing the other four to Egghead in blasts of black lightning, with Luffy and Sanji watching in complete shock. The rest of the Gorosei are coming. Let's see. Vegapunk is like, this is the truth of the world. The world government is being run by demons. The one who is fighting the demons is actually Sun God Nika, who some people might know. Quasar. Zoro and Lucci is actually fighting where the Gorosei wants to go. I feel like one of the Gorosei is gonna run into Zoro. Could it be the only member of the Gorosei who actually has a weapon? Could it be the swordsman Gorosei member? Halster, yo! Wouldn't it be funny if the message is being broadcasted at Punk Hazard instead of Egghead? That would be poetic. Ooh, that's a good thought! Ooh! Ozzy! That's actually a good thought! Ooh! That extra contingency! If it was being broadcast from Punk Hazard, and the Egghead is just another location it's being broadcast to. Ooh, I like that idea! They go there thinking that if they Ozzy. Genius. Ozzy. Hold on. I need to give you applause for that. I need to give you a full-on applause for that. That is solid. I love that idea. Ozzy, that is gold. I like that. Hold on. I had to give an applause for Ozzy with that idea. Hold on. I'm pressing buttons that I shouldn't be pressing. There we go. What if this message if the source of this message is actually being broadcast from Punk Hazard instead of Egghead? So even if the Gorosei get there and demolish all of Egghead, the message still broadcasts because that's not the source of that location. The old switcheroo. I actually hope that's true. The message itself. I would love if the message itself is coming from a different location. The origin is coming from a different location. Rest of the Gorosei getting baited by this message, it would be insane. Or maybe Baltimore. Baltimore is his home. Like, what if it's getting broadcast from there as well? But didn't Frankie blow up that lab when he pressed that big old button with the death symbol on it? Didn't he blow that up? At least I hope Vegapunk has a contingency so the signal won't be interrupted. I hope so as well. Like all contingencies, I hope he has one as well. Gorosei is going to get caught in 4K. This is not going to stop, and we are going to get this message. The Gorosei's worst fear is about to make itself known, and they're now they're about to appear on Egghead to make sure that this message does not get out. That lab is gone, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that lab in Baltimore is gone. Vegapunk is too smart if you do that. This is actually good. This is actually good. So, quick references. As Vegapunk's pre-recorded message starts broadcasting, Vegapunk gives the listeners 10 minutes to prepare themselves and their equipment before he makes his announcement. Despite the Marines' attempts, they are unable to block the broadcast, which happens across the world. The remaining 5 elders telepathically communicate with Saturn and realize that Vegapunk's broadcast may be triggered by a dead man switch. Shepard Jupiter believes the source of the broadcast must be inside Punk Records, which is still heavily protected. Across the world, such as in Dressrosa, Fuchsia Village, Water 7, and the World Economic Newspaper's headquarters, everybody's preparing to hear Vegapunk's message. At the Kamabaka Queendom, Monkey D. Dragon remembers Shaka's words that Vegapunk's life might be over soon. Luffy overpowers Kizaru and Saturn and manages to send Kizaru flying into a marine ship. Saturn keeps healing from his injuries and returns to the fight. The remaining 5 elders telepathically tell Saturn that there is no more time left for Vegapunk's message to be stopped. In response, Saturn summons the other elders to his location, which causes 4 ritual circles to manifest around Saturn. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, Frankie did, but Baltimore is not a bad theory. With One Piece, anything is possible. Yeah, you're not wrong. Anything is possible. Do think Punk Hazard is still intact, though it definitely would have seen better days. I mean, given that it's Vegapunk's lab, a lot of stuff is probably incredibly advanced there, so it can stand up to a lot of things. But anything is possible with One Piece. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, the Gordo, I don't even want to try and set anybody up when you're feeling some type of way but with what I'm about to say. But Oda is dangling one of the biggest. Vegapunk has too many satellites, and what if Shaka has too many suggestions? Who knows? But I don't want to have anyone have this thought in their mind and for me to feel like I've set them up to think this for the entire week until we get back to the next chapter. But what Oda is dangling in front of us, it is no short order to think that this could be the moment we find out about the true history of the world, the truth of the world, the very thing the Roger Pirates learned in their travels as they conquered the Grand Line. Oda is now dangling this in front of us. This is not a drill. Oda's got us. Our backs against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Oda is dangling one of One Piece's biggest long-standing mysteries in front of us. He's dangling it in front of us right now. This isn't like a short tease. This isn't like a maybe he'll reveal it in the future. No, this is Oda in this moment saying, I'm going to reveal this to you. And it is so important that the Gorosei have left Marijois. We thought it was a big thing when Jay Garcia left. Now the rest of them are about to show up. It is that serious. Whatever happens is definitely going to be world-shattering. It is. In this arc, we're going to get something. Not everything needs to be revealed. We just need something. Something! Whatever, but I'm just ready. And at the same time, I'm not. I'm ready and I'm not at the same time. But what's in front of us? What's in front of us is something that many of us have been wondering about for, 20 years? Literally 20 years? Some of us may not have gotten into One Piece over the past 20 years, but for the series as a whole, this has been a moment 20 years in the making. And all the Gorosei getting defeated will be world-shattering indeed. Luffy is struggling to damage one. Imagine all 5 at the same time. What if they all have high-speed regeneration? Not just Jay Garcia, but what if they all have it? What if they all know? Here's the thing about Jay Garcia. We don't understand the full scope of his capabilities because we still don't even know the name of his own devil fruit. So we don't even know everything that it can do. He's capable of basically blowing up the heads of lesser individuals and severely harming incredibly powerful ones, such as Luffy and Sanji. He's also capable of summoning and teleporting to different places using, like, summoning circles. And he's capable of turning into a fully Zoan state where the tips of his legs can secrete this incredibly powerful poison out of it. But we don't even know. We don't even know the full scope of Jay Garcia's abilities, let alone the rest of the Gorosei. We know they're all Devil Fruit users due to them transforming their bodies when they encountered Sabo in the empty throne room. But so many things to think. But Luffy is getting better at using Gear 5, so I believe he can handle it. Definitely knows Nika's powers. They fought the original Joy Boy. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. Now, before I agree with you, DJ, on that statement where they fought the original Joy Boy, I need more concrete evidence for that. That sounds nice, but I need more concrete evidence before I can say they fully fought the original Joy Boy. They know of Nika, but I can't say yet. Luffy is like a Saiyan now, like to a degree, maybe. But we're gonna have to see. And the fact that we're going on break, man, this thing is gonna... What a tease. What a tease. I can't wait. But I gotta end it here, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta do Jujutsu, and then I gotta prepare for my salmon that's on the way that the family is bringing for me. But let me just say this. We are living in the age of peak One Piece right now. We still have a very long way to go before this series is over, but we are living in the midst of peak One Piece. We're living in peak One Piece right now, and I'm happy to share this moment with you. I cannot wait to see what other chapters we get during my birthday month. I can't wait. It should be fun. But I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta get started with Jujutsu. Baguru, sorry if I haven't been acknowledging your comments, but I can't really understand a lot of them, like what you're meaning in saying. I can't really understand too much of it in context with what everything else is being said. So apologies if I haven't been saying anything about your messages. It's just that I can't quite understand them in how they mesh with everything else that's going on. I'm just saying. But overall, fantastic chapter. Things are serious. Gorosei all appearing on Egghead. Serious. This is Oda giving us the final saga of One Piece, and we barely scratched the surface. I can't wait. I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. The more he fights, the stronger he gets. With that said, 10 out of 10 chapter. Close peace, people. Yes, sir! 10 out of 10 chapter. All I can say to you, both people who are veterans here and people who are new here, especially if you made it to the end of this stream, all I can say to you is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples! I said later, peoples, when I know good in fact I'm supposed to be moving on to Jujutsu. On to Jujutsu!